Hi, my name is Jaden, and today I'm going to be showing you iSolarCloud. iSolarCloud is a very popular monitoring program used by many of our customers. Let's jump on the computer and see how it works. Alright, jumping into the iSolarCloud desktop website. This is your basic overview, and this is where you're going to get most of your information about your solar system. So firstly, starting from the top, the most important thing that you need to know about your solar system is the today yields. If you want to know how much your system is performing, then today yield is actually going to show you how many kilowatts you've accumulated over the course of the day. Checking the today yield is best to do that at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon at sundown. This will tell you exactly how much your solar has produced for the day. The power flow on the right hand side of the screen is going to show you exactly where the power is going from what your solar is producing for you. So we can see at this point of time, it's quite a rainy day. The solar is only producing 1.3 kilowatts at this particular time. So 427 watts of that power is actually being self-consumed and used in the households. And then the remaining 949 watts is being exported to the grid. The 1.376 kilowatts is basically an instantaneous production or real-time power. So what the solar is producing right now. That shows up on real-time power on this tab down here. There will also be a monthly yields. Today is the first day of the month, so the monthly yield will be very similar or the same as the today yields. And then the total yield is how much the system has produced ever since it was installed, 9.13 megawatts. Scrolling down to the graphs, we have a day, month, year, and a total breakdown. This is a PV comparison, so this is showing you what you've consumed from the solar and what you've exported. So as we can see, on this particular day, the total production was 38.3 kilowatts. 17.1 of that 38.3 was used in the households, and then 21.2 kilowatts was fed out to the grid. As you can see, it compares it and puts percentages. The load is a comparison of what you've used and where you've used it from. So self-sufficiency is what you've used from your solar, and then purchase energy is what you've used from the grid. So in this particular day, 17.1 kilowatts was used from the solar, which matches up with the self-consumption. And then 13.8 kilowatts was actually purchased from the grid. Purchase energy is something that you want to keep as low as possible because anything that you're purchasing outside of the solar is going to be bought from the grid. Down on the graph, it actually shows you the pinpoint times of what you're using and how much you're using at what times of the day. And then it gives you a curve of the solar production throughout the day. So you can always make sure that whatever you're using, you can keep it within the solar's production, so you're not overshooting what it's producing and you're not paying for power. And you can also make sure that you're not using too much early in the morning or late at night. This will save you from unexpected high power bills where you've used too much power, and it helps you be a lot smarter with your energy consumption. The blue is your exported power. So anything that isn't being used from the solar is going to be exported, and it shows up as a blue because it's going back to the grid. Now the next tab on the left is your device information. You won't really need to check this much. This is going to be for the solar installers and for the workers in the office if there's ever a fault with your system. What we can do is we can click on your inverter and have general information about your inverter, if there's an active fault, or we can check up on previous faults that have occurred on the inverter. There is also a fault section here as well where you can backdate and look at faults. Plant configuration, and then clicking on plant is the basic details of the customer and the site with the street address. Another common question is the tariff tab here. So feed-in tariff and consumption tariff, these need to be filled out if you want the revenue to be correct on the overview, which we will circle back to in a second. But basically, feed-in tariff is what your energy retailer are paying you back for your exported power, and consumption tariff is how much they charge you per kilowatt that's being used. So when these are filled out correctly, it'll affect the revenue on the overview. So let's go back to the overview tab and check revenue. Total revenue is $1,840. So the way that this is calculated is by putting in the tariff codes, which we just looked at, and then what it does is it calculates how much you've saved by using power from your solar, because this power would have been used from the grid if you didn't have solar installed. And it also calculates how much you've earned from exporting power to the grid. So this will be a collective revenue or savings ever since you've had your system installed. It also gives you a today revenue showing you how much you've actually saved for the entire day. You also have a revenue for this month as well. So that's the basics of iSolarCloud. You can always refer to this if you want to know how much your system is producing and how much power you're consuming or what you're exporting. Thanks for watching.